Hello, everyone, and welcome again to AI in Real Estate. Here's where I share practical examples where you can deploy AI in order to work better and smarter. And for today's use case, I'm going to show you something that most portfolio managers and asset managers in private equity or on the investment management side go through a couple of times during the year. And it is to create a beautiful investor level deck to show to your own investors how their portfolio is doing and what to expect moving forward. I want to create something just like this. So a branded deck for annual investor presentation with the logo I requested and the color scheme I instructed with, plus the table of contents, great, executive summary with the assets, the portfolio, total number of assets, total square feet, total size, occupancy, NOI, portfolio overview, the geographic diversification, financial performance summary, the NOI deep dive, occupancy and leasing, some rent collection and revenue data, debt and capital structure, capital expenditures, market overview. This is really interesting because it's getting for the Southern California market what I needed, that's where my assets are based. Asset level performance, some disposition acquisition activity, which we didn't have last year, evaluation summary, forward-looking summary, risk factors and mitigation, including a lot of things that are current going on, like tariff and trade uncertainty, recession, interest rates, risks, etc. ESG, the team and key context. Of course, it's a placeholder because I didn't provide those names. The appendix and a disclaimer at the end, confidentiality and disclaimer at the end. And for today's use case, I'm gonna use Laney. Laney is an agentic AI purpose-built for real estate. It combines its own mathematical models, proprietary mathematical models, with the best of the main LLMs out there, including Claude, GPT, Gemini, etc. Laney acts like a project manager when you ask a question. It divides in tasks and try to get from the LLMs the best answer and goes back and forth. So you don't need to babysit Laney to get the final answer. Laney will do that for you and in just one shot if needed. And to create the deck, I explored some of the Laney features to create a really good output. So here's what I did first. I asked Laney to create a prompt for a nice presentation, for a really good investor level presentation. And here you see like create a prompt so I can use the guidelines to ask an AI to create an annual investor presentation deck for a portfolio. I wanted to have Laney logo on the cover and then a small Laney logo on all slides on the top right corner. Needs to look professional, executive level. And here's what it came with. First, I have the instructions here. So I wanted to create a professional, executive level annual investor presentation deck for a real estate portfolio. Then I spoke about the branding with the logo provided, which I will provide on my next step. What are the design standards for this? The slides I want to have covering all portfolio metrics and also some market overview with the appendix, tables, and historical data, etc. And also the formatting, financial requirements, tone, and placeholders. And now, Eleni, I will explore the memory feature where I can upload files or create notes to provide guidelines for my questions, to the answers for my questions. So I will upload a file here. Let me choose a file. Here we go. Okay, now I have the instructions as in my file. Perfect. And now let's ask the question. So first, I will get the logo and now I will bring the files. So I'm copying 10 different files, including rent schedule, CapEx schedule, debt schedule, and even the income statements and the actuals for 2025 for 6 different properties. In total, I have 10, 11 files here, including the logo. And this is how these files look like. So here's the rent schedule. Here's the 5-year forecast for all the 6 properties. how the income statement looks like with the actuals for 2025, the debt schedule for the whole portfolio for all properties here, and the capex schedule for the properties as well. As you can see, they're totally different files, different structures, and different formatting. And we'll ask Lenny to capture all of that. So let's run it. Oh, there you go. Let's see the output. So we created an annual investor presentation, a 21 slide presentation with the Lenny branding, portfolio overview, financial summary, market overview, and clearly labeled placeholders. Here's the presentation. What are the highlights? 6 assets. What are the occupancy in 2025? The NOI 2026 lease rollover. Okay, total debt, etc. So let's see the output. Okay, well, it already looks nice. This is the cover, table of contents. Here's the executive summary. Interesting. Everything from the asset, from the portfolio actually. NOI, weighted average, interest rate, key near-term focus, and 5-year forecast. Oh, cool. Portfolio overview. Okay. And also, it understood that it's from Southern California. That is also really interesting. The geographic diversification. Okay. Financial performance summary. Deep dive on the NOI for each one of those assets. All right. Occupancy and leasing. And you can see you might need to adjust some tables here and there, some charts here and there. But for like to get these in just a couple of minutes, I think this is amazing. I already gave like some charts and graphs, rent collection and revenue. Okay. Debt and capital structure, capex. Okay. Market overview from Southern California. This is really interesting because it nailed the region there. Asset level performance. All right. No dispositions for this portfolio in 2025. That is correct. Here's the valuation summary, and also for each one of those, it got the cap rate model. It even got from the models that we provided a 6% exit cap rate that was in our forecast, but it gave the cap rates for each one of those regions comparing to national and itself. This is super, super interesting. It got a 3-year forward-looking summary, some risks and mitigation. Okay. Rollovers, tariff, and trade uncertainty. That's nice. Interest rate, recession, demand slowdown. Super updated, super interesting. And California regulatory costs. Okay. Insights on ESG and sustainability. And team key content. I didn't provide that, so it's good that it left a placeholder for those. Key definitions, what are the data sources and formatting conventions, and a disclaimer at the end. This is really, really nice, nice looking, presentation. So this was another example on how you can use AI to save hours or even days in your week. And just as a recap of what it did, we uploaded 10 different files with income statements, debt schedule, capex schedule, rent rolls for 6 different properties, industrial properties in a portfolio. And first, the AI organized the data. So you already saved a lot of time just organizing the data. And then the AI, Lenny, created a high-level quality deck to your investors in just a couple of minutes. Again, this was another example on how you can use AI, and I'll keep sharing more and more in the coming weeks here on AI in real estate.